Joining us now for more is Texas Republican Congressman Pete Sessions, who's also the co-chair of the new DOGE Caucus on Capitol Hill. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Congressman. As you're well aware, we got a lot going on. Roughly 2 million federal workers have an email offering them a buyout tonight. The memo to all government employees says, quote, "We cannot give you full assurance regarding the certainty of your position or agency." Is there a specific amount of federal workers that DOGE is hoping will take these buyouts?
You know, Lindsay, there's not, but there is an agreement that we have with the president, and that is that we believe federal workers need to come back to work. There was always a discrepancy between the number of people that the Biden administration said that they would allow to work from home on a daily or weekly basis and those who actually did. We are concerned in DOGE about delivering government efficiency. We found that during the period of time the Biden administration had people at home, they were not able to coordinate. Their decision-making lacked entirely all the way to the top, and the examples of government inefficiency took the toll on the American people who needed it to work. You could start at the passport office, but it goes all the way to the IRS.
That memo also said, quote, "The federal workplace should be comprised of employees who are reliable, loyal, trustworthy." What happens if not enough workers take the buyouts? How should the government decide what to do then?
Well, I don't think that there's a question about what would happen if they don't report to work. Then they, I'm sure, would find themselves in taking that offer, because it's certainly offered. I think it's some bit of benevolence on behalf of the administration to buy out these workers. While I do not know the exact amounts, I believe it's that they would be paid at their current salary rate. I believe this is correct, through the end of September. And I think that's a fair way to look at it. This is done in business by companies all the time. I think it's fair, but just like other large companies in America expect their workers to go back to work, so do we.
Now, we saw that judge put the directive to freeze federal grant money and funds on hold late today. But nonprofits like Meals on Wheels are very concerned. They told ABC News, quote, "The lack of clarity and uncertainty unfortunately means seniors will panic, not knowing where their next meals will come from." Did the White House rush this process without thinking through the domino effects?
You know, I think it's fair to say that there was a good bit of a lack of people who were given prior notice, including members of Congress, including mayors and governors and people. But I think it does not impact the things: children's meals, Medicare, Medicaid, student loans. What it deals with is where the spending comes into conflict against the president's priorities. So where the president's priorities, where there was money that was going to be spent on those, the administration has just literally this week come into office. They have seen the huge amount of money that is flowing out to these programs. They are not ones that were necessarily completely authorized by Congress: Medicare, Medicaid, student loans, things that were given the best for children in education. These are things that were programs and plans that came out of the administration. So I think I'm delighted the president's done this. I wish there had been more of a coordination, but we're handling it well. And we've gotten with our county judges, we've gotten with our sheriffs and our mayors, and we're making sure as we learn more information about what this would mean. But I think that the president had to do what he did, and they simply chose to do it overnight.
Now, your colleagues have argued that the Trump administration has every right to pause these funds. We'll see, obviously, how this plays out in court. But beyond a pause, once this 90-day period ends, does the White House have the unilateral ability to simply take away money that has been allocated by Congress?
Well, I think that what will happen is that they've asked each agency to look at and gather the information back to them about grants. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about grants and plans that have been made that essentially are along the line of different agencies given. These are not things that were specifically authorized to a point by Congress. These are things that a grant took care of, or that the administration decided they were going to spend their money on. a review is appropriate. And I'm a little surprised that this was not taken care of by Congress at the time that we authorized the funding to take place between now and what might be March 14th. But evidently it was not contained in that authorization by Congress. So a review by the administration, I'm pleased they're doing it.
I want to get your reaction to the ICE raids that we've been seeing play out across the country. Yesterday, we spoke with the alderman in Chicago who said that people there are missing medical appointments because of the fear and panic that the Trump administration is creating in that city. The ACLU in California today said that ICE is terrorizing and profiling people because they look undocumented. What's your message to people who are here legally, who are now scared that they're going to be targeted?
The awareness that people have about what the president intends to do and was supported by the American people for those that are in this country illegally, for those who came across on an illegal basis, they do have reason to believe that they will be deported. So for those people that might be afraid of walking outside, ICE will show up at your door.
All right, Congressman Pete Sessions, we thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.